Eels off the top. Larkham. Roth smashes through the middle. Gregan. Drop goal from Larkham. Up it goes. Could you believe it? Larkham has De Beer.
This week marks exactly 14 years since Stephen Larkham guided Australia into the final of the 1999 Rugby World Cup. It wasn't a tactic the Wallabies were much inclined to use. In fact, it was their first drop goal in the professional era.
For us, field goals weren't really part of the game plan. We were a running side, we were about scoring tries, and we had a pretty good goal kicker in Matt Burke. So we'd either score a try or Burke would kick penalties, and it came down to a field goal in that game for us. The ball came out quite quick on that second phase, and I had a quick look outside and there was really no option out there. I really didn't think I had a chance. So it was a really short run-up. It was down on the foot pretty quick. It was an awkward drop, actually. I remember that I had to adjust halfway through because the drop was so bad. And the ball immediately started hooking. And I thought, geez, I hope it gets to the dead ball line. And then all of a sudden it squared up and it got its flight, and it went well through the post, which was pretty good.
The Wallabies were expecting the All Blacks to be their opponents in the final, but France had other ideas in another dramatic semi-final.
We were all watching it. We were all getting quite excited because it was a close game, and then, you know, it came that point where France ran the length of the field and we thought, this is it, they've won it. And everyone in the team room's up and jumping and high-fiving one another, thinking this is the greatest moment ever. And then all of a sudden the realisation came that we hadn't done any homework on the French. We'd done, you know, before the World Cup had started, we'd done our homework on the New Zealand side. We'd plotted our course through the World Cup, and it was always going to be them in the finals, and how were we going to beat them. We had a game plan set out, the coaches had a game plan set out for that. So there was a mad, frantic rush to try and get a game plan in place for the French.
As it turned out, the French were a spent force. Australia could even relax and enjoy the closing stages.
Well, I guess the tension broke probably when Tooney scored his try. I think we finally realised, and you can see the excitement on our face, and there was a good little passage leading up to Tooney scoring. We sort of had a little bit of momentum there, and you could just see their attitude had broken, and that was the turning point for us. We could feel it. We got happy, we got on a bit of a roll, and then, yeah, Owen scored after that, but that was a tight affair up until that point. It was, you know, how many fights were there in that game? It was a really dour struggle throughout most of that game. Lots of niggle off the ball, on the ball, and a really physical game for everyone. But then we finally wore them down, and we scored some good tries in the end. It was one of the rare occasions that we actually enjoyed ourselves out there, and you can see that in the body language.
And they celebrated their moment in rugby history in style, all the way home.
It was a long, drawn-out process for us, and we worked really hard to get to where we got to. We copped a lot of criticism along the way, fought through that, and we were really tight as a team, and you know, those sorts of moments really bring you together as a team. But to finally hold that cup was really special. You know, you saw guys kissing it, cuddling it straight after the game. And we were lucky enough to travel back to Australia with it on the plane, and yeah, we did a few laps of the plane. We were up in business class, and the plane was full of Australians, obviously on the way back to Australia. And we did a few laps, so we enjoyed ourselves on the way back, and you know, it got to the point where I think every minute someone was doing a lap of the plane down through economy with the cup and getting photos and high-fiving everyone.
Having made the smooth transition from player to coach with the Brumbies, the memories of 1999 will remain with him forever.
Today I can still vividly remember images from that World Cup, from games either side of that World Cup. So it certainly does feel like yesterday, and it was such a good ride there. You know, Australian rugby was in a golden era. I was lucky to be a part of that, and we had success on the field. We had good times off the field, which is generally what happens when you have success. But I was lucky to be part of a group that won everything that was available to win as an Australian rugby player.